Salut tout le monde, bienvenue dans le nouvel épisode de Let's Play Francais avec moi, Mitak. What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new episode of Let's Play Francais with me, Mitak, where we struggle together through a game in French. And today that game is going to be Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Alright, this is our 6th installment of Ace Attorney and we're getting so close. I'm pretty sure we're really right at the turnabout is what they would say, right? He always does a turnabout, I think. Phoenix Wright. But anyway, I'm really excited to finish this episode of the game. So let's get right into it. Let's go through our resources real quick. Just like normal, we have wordreference.com as our online dictionary. We have Google Translate for any Google translating, and we have forvo.com as a resource for pronunciation. All right, let's get right into it. If I remember correctly, the last thing that happened was Khavu was going crazy. He's maybe not crazy, but he's really sweating. Look at him. He's just sweating bullets because we keep finding discrepancies in his testimony, and he has to keep correcting himself. And so the judge had already said he didn't like that he was doing that. So here he is. I think this is his third redo kind of thing. He's telling his story again for the third time. Let's see what he has to say for himself, okay? In reality, je n'ai pas entendu l'heure. I didn't hear the time. Je l'ai vu. I saw it. Alright. Il y avait une pendule dans l'appartement. L'appartement. Il me semble. He says there was a clock in the apartment. Il me semble? Is that like it looked to me like it seemed like there was, or I think I saw that? I'll look up il me semble later. Anyway, oui, l'arme du crime. Yes, the crime weapon. Le meurtrier l'a utilisé pour frapper la victime. He says, I'm guessing this is the murderer. The murderer used it to hit the victim. C'est cela que j'ai dû voir. And it's that I saw, that I must have seen. Vous avez vu une pendule? You saw a clock? Je suppose que ceci explique cela. I guess that could explain that. La défense peut interroger le témoin. Encore. So, the defense may or can, what were we using? You can just say interrogate, but I think we were saying, I like the word examine. Examine the witness. Avec plaisir. With pleasure. L'heure entendue. Is it the time that was heard or something like that? Okay, here we go. He's reviewing. Let's see. I think this might be one because I'm pretty sure it said earlier that he didn't even go inside the apartment, so that might be it, but I'm not 100% sure of that one. Oh, this one was really short, so there's not a lot of options. I don't think there's anything wrong with this because what he says is true, really. That it was the clock that they used as the murder weapon. It's somewhere in here, I think, because this one doesn't say anything, and this is like the only one. So let's actually like press him a little bit. So we'll attaquer instead of présenter. What button is it? L, which is the L button. Okay, let's press him on here and see if he has anything more to say. Un instant, une pendule. Y avait-il une pendule sur les lieux? Here he's doing some kind of weird inversion. I always have trouble when Ilia has some weird construction with it, but here he's inverting Ilia, so he's asking, oh, there was a clock at the scene? Je n'en avais pas encore entendu parler. I think it's something like I hadn't heard that before. Pas encore is like not yet. And then entendu is to hear, and parler is to talk, to speak. So I think he says something. He's saying something like, I haven't heard that yet. I haven't heard that before. Okay. I guess that wasn't it, but it wasn't wrong, I guess. Oh, wait. No, I got it. So if we go into the dossier, we can look at the evidence, and here it says the murder weapon is a statue, not a clock. But he's saying that it is a clock. So let's do that. We'll present this where he says the murder weapon. Let's try that. Okay, here we go. Attendez une minute. Wait a minute. L'arme du crime n'est pas une pendule. See? Yeah, we got it. Il s'agit de cette statue. The crime weapon wasn't a clock, or isn't a clock. It's this statue. Trouvez-vous que cela ressemble à une pendule? Do you think it looks like a clock? Or here it says trouvez-vous. Do you find? But I think we would probably say, I guess we could say, do you find this to look like a clock? Quoi? What? Avec vos objections et vos pièces à conviction, mais pour qui vous prenez? I mean, he says like, with your objections and your evidence. What else would there be, my guy? That's kind of what the court is for. I have to give you the objections and the evidence. He says, mais pour qui vous prenez? I think prenez looks like it comes from prendre. Prendre, which is like to take. I think this would be like, what are you trying to get at? Or what are you saying then, right? That might be wrong. I'll check. But répondez simplement à la question, Monsieur Khavu. Respond or answer. Simply answer the question, Mr. Khavu. Mais je l'ai vu là-bas, okay? Yeah, I saw it there, okay? C'est une pendule. It's a clock. Votre honneur, si je puis me permettre. Your honor, if you'd let me. Oui, monsieur Boulet. Comme l'a déclaré le témoin, cette statue est en effet une pendule. Like the witness is saying, this statue is in fact a clock, or in effect a clock, something like that. Son cou est en bouton, vous le basculez et il vous donne l'heure à voix haute. I don't think X in voix haute, right? I don't think X has liaison, does it? Maybe we'll look into Forlo real quick a little later, but he says son cou, its neck, et son bouton is a button. Maybe not a button. Maybe we could translate it as a switch here, because he says next, he says vous le basculez, which I think it means like you twist it or something like that. But anyway, you maneuver the neck, et elle vous donne l'heure à voix haute, and it gives the time in a loud voice, I think. I'm gonna look up, let's see if there is a pronunciation for voix haute. All right, we got a singular exact match. Let's hear it.
À voix haute.
À voix haute. Okay, so there's no liaison. And the H is silent as normal. À voix haute. Comme on ne dirait pas une pendule, je l'ai soumise en tant que statue. Je m'excuse. Okay, so the one, what I'm not sure is soumise, and it looks like it's in its past participle already. I'll have to look it up, but it looks like the word surmise, or yeah. He says, we didn't say it was a clock. Let's look up soumise. Soumise. It's coming from soumettre. I'm gonna go with submit because I think they're talking about submitting it as evidence, maybe. So I think he's saying something like, we didn't say it was a clock, we just submitted it as a statue. And he says, je m'excuse, I'm sorry, or excuse me. Je comprends, I understand. L'arme de crime était donc bien une pendule. So the crime weapon is, or was, a clock, whatever. Ah bien, Monsieur Wright, il semble que la déposition de témoins soit correcte. Cet objet est une pendule. He says, it seems that the witness's deposition was correct. The object is a clock. Sa déclaration vous gêne-t-elle toujours à présent? So, I think gêne-t-elle, it means something like, is it bothering you, or is it like, is it still a problem? He says, is the declaration still, toujours, here would be still, instead of like always. And he says, à présent, now, is the declaration still a problem for you? Which is, oui, I think, yes, it is still a problem. Votre honneur, la déposition du témoin contient une énorme falle. So, the witness's deposition contains an enormous error, I think is the best one. I mean, here it looks like the word fail, right? But, or would you say it as faille? Is this L like a, is this double L like an L sound? Let's look. Wow, we're using Forvo a lot today. You got it? Is there one here? Faille. Maybe it's faille. And then, so maybe it doesn't mean fail?
Faille.
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 Okay.
Faille.
Faille. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure it's not like something completely off of what I think it means. So pronounced as faille, as you can see here, F. Here the pronunciation is faille. This J makes that Y kind of sound. Faille. Fault. Okay. Flaw. Loophole. I like that. Anyway, so his testimony has a fault, a flaw in it, an enormous flaw. La seule façon de savoir que l'arme est une pendule est de la tenir dans sa main. So, la seule façon de, the only way, to know, savoir que l'arme est une pendule, the only way to know that the weapon is a clock is de le tenir dans sa main. So tenir dans sa main is like to handle it in your hands, to have it, to hold it in your hands. Or, le témoin a déclaré n'être jamais entré dans l'appartement. But the is or like a but the witness declared or said that he never entered the apartment. La contradiction est évidente. The contradiction is evident. En effet, le témoin savait qu'il s'agissait d'une pendule parce qu'il. The witness knew that it was a clock because he est entré dans l'appartement, which yes, probably, ou de connaître la victime. He knew the victim, but no, he didn't probably know the victim. He just went into the apartment. Il est entré dans l'appartement. So we can see that here, entrer is using être as its auxiliary for the passé composé. Il est entré dans l'appartement. Vous mentez. He's lying. Or you're lying, sorry. Vous étiez dans l'appartement le jour du meurtre. You entered the apartment on the day of the murder. Ouais? Prouvez-le. Oh yeah? Prove it. Prouvez que je suis entré. Prove that I went inside. Prove that I entered. Je vais même faire mieux que ça. Je peux prouver que c'est vous qui l'avez tué. Oh, wow. He says, if you go word by word, it says, je vais même, I will even faire do mieux, better or more que ça, than that. I'll even do better than that. Je peux prouver, I can prove que that c'est vous qui l'avez tué. It was you who killed her. Wow. Vous l'avez frappé avec le pendule et le choc du coup a déclenché la voix. Looks like a terrible word, not a bad word. It looks like a bad word. Déclenché. It looks like declenched. But anyway, he says, vous l'avez frappé. You struck her. You hit her avec la pendule with the clock. Et le choc du coup and the shock of the hit a déclenché la voix. I think this is like activated the voice, something like that. C'est cela, le son que vous avez, le son que vous avez entendu. And it's ours. There's no and there. He says, it's that. It's the voice. Le son que vous avez entendu. It's the voice that's the voice that you heard. Something like that. Silence dans la salle. Order in the court. I guess sometimes they say silence in the court, but stereotypically, order in the court. Curieux. Veuillez poursuivre, Monsieur Wright. Curious. You may proceed, Mr. Wright. Oui, votre honneur. Monsieur Khavu, ce son a dû vous faire une drôle d'impression. Drôle? Doesn't drôle mean like funny or what's drôle? Funny, right? Weird. I guess I'm thinking odd in this case, probably. I think it's saying something like you must have had a weird expression, maybe? I'm gonna have to look that up later. Or you're making maybe he's making a weird face now that he's like unveiling what happened. Anyway, ce qui se comprend. Se comprend would be like he understood. This is what he knew, I think. Or this is what we know, maybe. L'arme du crime a parlé au moment où vous avez assommé la victime. So the prime weapon spoke, or it spoke the moment, the the moment where the victim was knocked out. Cette voix est inscrite dans votre mémoire. That voice is inscribed, I think, inscribed within your memory or something like that. C'est pour cela que vous étiez si formel à propos de l'heure. And because of that, is it that's why you knew about the time kind of deal? Oh yeah? What's your objection? Qu'est-ce que cela signifie? What does that have anything to do with it? Why is that important? Tout cela n'est qu'hypothèse. Oh, yeah, I think hypothèse. Sans fondement. So fondement. We'll start from the beginning. He says like all of that. Tout cela is nothing but hypothesis without fondement. It looks like fundamentals. So without like a basis, right? It's like an unfounded hypothesis. Sans fondement. Regardez donc le visage du témoin. Look at the face of your witness. Ooh, he's upset. He's about to crack. Le témoin pourrait-il donner des détails? Can the witness give us the details or something like that? Avez-vous frappé la victime avec cette pendule? Sure, because he's going to say that. Yes. Did you hit the victim with the clock? Ce jour-là, je n'ai jamais. I would never. Écoutez, listen. La pendule, the clock. Je l'ai entendu. No, I didn't hear it. Oh, there it is. He did it. Pulled all his hair off. Taisez-vous, which I think it means like shut up. It's like be quiet, right? Je vous déteste. I hate you. Though he used a vous form there, why didn't he just say je déteste toi, maybe? Or maybe he's using vous as in like all of you, like vous in the plural, maybe. Anyway, c'était lui. It was him. Je vous dis. I told you. Yeah, I guess he's using vous as in he's telling the court, like a bunch of people. Je vous dis. I told y'all. Je l'ai vu. I saw him. Il l'a tué et il mérite de brûler en enfer. Enfer. This isn't a verb, so I think we might be able to say enfer. Okay, I'm gonna go back into Forvo. Wow, I haven't used Forvo this much ever. At least in an episode of this. What do we have?
Enfer.
Enfer. Here I think enfer is like in hell, because he says il l'a tué, he killed her, et il mérite, he deserves de brûler en enfer. Brûler, like crème brûlée, would be like to burn, right? So I think he's saying to burn in hell, but we'll look real quick and confirm. Enfer. Hell. Very good. Here we can also see, instead of going to Forvo, we could actually just kind of look it up in word reference, and there is a pronunciation guide here. But it's kind of hard if you don't know what all of these symbols, what the sounds that they make. They're using, I'm not sure if it's exactly the IPA. It looks like IPA to me. The International Pronunciation Alphabet or something like that. But anyway, here, some things to note are this tilde that you see represents like the nasal sound. So in the spelling it's en, on, and the F makes the same sound as you would think as an F sound. This kind of backwards 3 epsilon deal doesn't make an E kind of vowel sound, but it would be like a would you call it short? It's not E like an I would sound like. It would be like eh. It's like really back in the mouth, and it's not like that really French sound. It's eh, like an open E sound, and then this R would be like the French R, which has a lot of variations. But enfer. So he says he deserves to burn in hell. In hell. Condamnez-le à mort. Condemn him to death. Dang, them strong words, Khavu. Silence. J'ai dit silence dans la salle. I said silence in the court. Votre honneur, je vous demande un instant. Un instant. I have trouble with this when there's like and then a vowel after it. I think here you might change it into an oral vowel sound, like a hard N sound. Instead of saying instant, you might say un instant, maybe. Maybe there's a sort of liaison there, but I don't know. I have trouble with that. And he says, I ask you for an instant. So he's basically saying, give me a moment, okay? Il n'y a pas la moindre preuve de ce qu'avance la défense. Moindre looks like less or not enough. Maybe it's like not sufficient. So I think he says there's not enough proof to avance la défense. That's funny. That sounds funny. It's something like the defense isn't giving enough proof, I think. Monsieur Wright, votre honneur. Vous affirmez que le son entendu par le témoin provenait de la pendule. He says, like, please confirm. What's he saying? It's like you confirmed what you confirmed what the witness heard, and it proved that it was a clock. Something like that. Pouvez-vous le prouver? No, wait. I didn't say that right. We'll translate the last one later. Here he says, can you prove it? Toute l'affaire repose sur ça. J'ai tout intérêt à m'appliquer. Here, repose is like to rest. Here, I think they're using it. He says something like, this entire trial rests on this. J'ai tout intérêt à m'appliquer. Something like, I have to apply all of my attention here. Ok, oui, votre honneur. Le son que M. Khavu a entendu provenait sans aucun doute de cette pendule. So it's like, what Mr. Khavu heard proved without a doubt that it was a clock. Pour les démontrer, il suffit simplement de... So, to show you, to demonstrate, all we have to do, il suffit, it's enough, simply to examiner les piles. I don't know what pile is. Demander aux voisins, which would be like to ask the neighbors. Not that faire retentir la pendule. Which I think it looks like this might come from also tenir, maybe? But it looks like it would be to like handle the clock, right? I'm not sure what pile is, so I'm going to skip that one. I think it's this. I hope it's this, because it looks like I could lose points, or whatever the points are. Écoutons cette pendule. Let's listen to the clock. Maintenant, dans ce tribunal. Here, in the court, in the trial. Votre honneur, puis-je avoir la pendule? Your honor, may I have the clock? Je demande à la cour d'écouter très attentivement. I ask the court to listen very attentively. Listen carefully. Beep. Je pense qu'il est... Oh man, I couldn't read the time. It was 8h25. The judge is surprised. He says, cette façon d'annoncer l'heure me paraît tout à fait étrange. The way it announced the time is truly strange. It's really strange. Eh bien, il s'agit du penseur après tout. Well, it is the thinker after all. Bon, nous avons entendu la pendule. Concluez-vous, Monsieur Wright? Okay, we've heard the clock, so what are you saying? What are you concluding? Monsieur Boulet, pouvez-vous me dire l'heure qu'il est? He says, Mr. Boulet, can you tell me what time is it? He's just asking what time. He says, Monsieur Boulet, pouvez-vous, can you me dire, tell me, l'heure qu'il est? What time is it? Il est 11h25. It's 11:25. Comme vous pouvez le constater, cette pendule retarde très exactement de 3 heures. As you have stated, I think, constaté, I'm not sure. But as you can see, the clock is slow by exactly 3 hours. Soit la différence entre ce qu'a entendu M. Khavu et l'heure réelle de la mort. So he says, and that's the difference between what Mr. Khavu heard and the actual time, the real time of the death, right? Donc, Monsieur Khavu, essayez un peu de vous en sortir cette fois. You tried a bit de vous en sortir cette fois. To leave this time. This one's a little confusing for me, but I think it's saying something like, I'd like to see you get out of this one this time. Something like that. Vous avez oublié une chose. You forgot one thing. Uh-oh. De quoi parle-t-il? What is he talking about? Même si cette pendule retarde effectivement de 3 heures, even if the clock was effectively slow by 3 hours, cela ne prouve rien. You haven't proved anything. Comment pouvez-vous savoir qu'elle retardait de 3 heures le jour du meurtre? How can you prove that the clock was 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? Si vous ne pouvez pas le prouver, vous êtes à cœur d'argument. If you can't prove that, what is it? Vous êtes you are short an argument. It's so cœur means short, like long and short. But I think here à cœur means you're missing, you're short one, right? Il a raison, he's right. Comment vais-je bien pouvoir prouver ça? How can I prove that? Bon sang, good grief, j'étais si près du but. He says, good grief. J'étais si près, so close. Du but, so but would be like the goal. So he's like, oh, I'm so close to the goal. I was so close. Monsieur Wright, vous ne semblez pas en mesure d'apporter la preuve de ce que vous avancez. Vous ne semblez pas you don't seem something en mesure d'apporter la preuve. I think it's like it doesn't seem like you have enough proof to kind of advance this argument. I think that's what he's trying to say. Or that's what I think he is saying. Anyway, he's definitely asking for more proof. Oui, votre honneur. Ce qui signifie que je ne peux pas vous laisser accuser le témoin. I think it's like that means that je ne peux pas vous laisser. You can't accuse the witness of that. Something like that. He's saying if you don't have enough proof, you can't make that accusation of the witness, I think. Malheureusement, unfortunately, cela met fin au contre-interrogatoire de Monsieur Frank Khavu. That puts an end. That's like the end of the cross-examination of Frank Khavu. Je fais le déplacement jusqu'ici pour témoigner et voilà ce qui se passe. So déplacement, it usually means when I learned this word, they use this word in video games when they teach you how to move the character around. They say like use the left stick to move him around, to déplacer or whatever, to move your character. So he's saying I came here, I moved myself here, I made myself come here pour témoigner, to testify, to testify, and look, et voilà ce qui se passe. Voilà ce qui se passe, and look what happened, and look what's happening. So basically, I did this to testify, and look what you're doing to me. On me traite comme un criminel. You're treating me like a criminal. Un criminel. Les avocats sont tous des vermines. Lawyers, you're all vermin. Dang. Je le tenais presque. Je le tenais presque. Did I say that right? Presque, I think, means like almost all of it. Not entirely everything, but very close to all of it, right? And tenir, it looks like from tenir. So it would be like, I almost have it. Désolé, Paul. I'm sorry. Je n'ai pas réussi à respecter mes engagements envers toi. I'm not sure if réussi, but in the context of everything else. He says something like, I can't respect our engagements between us, between you and I. He says like, I can't keep my promise to you. Il n'y a plus rien que je puisse faire à présent. There's nothing more that I can do. Puisse faire, I can do right now, à présent. There's nothing more I can do right now. Oh man. Pas si vite, Monsieur Khavu. Actually, I feel like that's a good place to stop. Mia is about to show us how to turn this around, I'm sure, because I don't know why he gave up so easily. He was just like, Peter was just like, oh, I can't do anything else. I guess, sorry, Paul. But anyway, ooh, that was a rough one, guys. I thought it was smooth sailing after a certain point, but then he was just, that Whitney's didn't want to give up either. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm gonna get into the menu real quick and do a quick sauvegarde. And we are coming so close to the epic conclusion of episode 1 de Phoenix, Wright et Salut. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining me in the struggle through Ace Attorney in French, and I hope you join me for the next one. But until then, à bientôt. See you next time. Salut!